Hi boys and girls, so as it's baking week, today I'm going to show you how to make the old school sponge with the icing and the sprinkles on the top. So it's kind of like a school dinner cake. And some of you may have had this already for a wee treat for our lunches and our dinners at nursery already, but this is how you can make it at home. So it's super simple, and the way I remember it is every 50 grams of an ingredient you use 1 egg. So here's our ingredients. Okay, so this sponge is going to need 200 grams of self-raising flour. I know it's a wee bit hard to find. You can also use plain flour and a wee bit of baking powder as well. We're going to need 200 grams of caster sugar. We'll get vanilla extract, 200 grams of soft butter, and 4 large eggs as well. So this is an easy sponge because it's an all-in-one mix. So all you have to do is put all these ingredients in the bowl and then use a hand whisk and mix it all up. So let's get started. Also, I have put the oven on already at 180 degrees just to preheat the oven, and I'll show you what tin I've got. So I'm just going to make a wee one, so it's just a wee square tin that I use my tray bakes in, and I've just lined it with baking paper. And that's for after. So I'm going to use my knife and cut. It's easier if you cut and get an adult's help to put the butter into smaller chunks in the bowl, and this helps it mix a wee bit better, easier with a whisk. Okay. So I've managed to get some icing, and I've also got some kind of multicoloured sprinkles that we can put on the top of the icing as a wee decoration, if I don't remember where I put them. So this is simple, but you might need a hand when you're putting the eggs in because you don't want any shell in the bowl. Okay, so you might need an adult's help to do that too. So I'm hoping that you guys are joining in on this Bake Off week, and I'd love to see any of your own creations. You can send them in to the school website, or there's emails there on the school website to send them in to Tracy, and then she can send them on to us and we can put them all on. There we go. Okay, so I've got all the wee butter chopped into tiny little chunks. So sometimes you can do it, if you don't have a hand whisk, you can do the sugar and the butter and you can whisk it with a spatula, but it is pretty hard. Your butter has to be quite soft, and it might take a wee bit longer. So that is another option if you don't have a hand whisk. And I'm going to put the flour in. And our eggs. So as I said, careful in case you get any shells in. And the vanilla extract, I kind of just pour, but maybe a teaspoon would do for this. Okay, that's all of our ingredients in the bowl, as you can see. So this is where it might get a wee bit messy. Let's see if I can do that. Move them out of the way. And that's the vanilla extract. Good dollop in there. Okay. And I usually kind of give it a wee smush to get it all kind of mixed in together. And then start with the lowest setting and go high. So you might need a wee help with your adult to hold on, because sometimes all the ingredients kind of go a wee bit everywhere. Like that. So I'll get this mixed and I'll show you in a wee second. So as you can see, we've mixed that and it's slightly gone a lighter colour, but there's still bits of butter and ingredients around the side. So just take a spatula and go right round the side and push it into the middle. And then you can start again with your whisking. I'm going to scrape it in there. Okay. And start again. Okay, so this is my cake mix. So it should, oh, nearly dropped it out of the bowl. But it should be thick and creamy and a kind of lighter colour. Okay, so I'm going to bring that tray over. So this is where you might need to help. So maybe your adult could hold the bowl and you could scoop it out into the tray. That'd be a really good idea. Got a funny feeling maybe I've made too much, but okay. Right. Move this down so you can see. There we go. So it's good to stick it into the middle, and then you can maybe, right, that's kind of, look, I've got loads left, so I'm going to leave it to the side, give it a wee shake, spoon out, and you need to make sure it goes into all the corners. If you don't have a square tin or rectangle tin, that's cool, you can just use a normal cake tin, a round one, but I just did this because I know at school and at nursery it's kind of cut into squares to divvy out. Right, so I don't want to fill it up too much because I don't want to overflow the tin, so that's maybe just over half of our mixture, and my tin is quite small, so that's okay. I'm going to use a mixture making the cupcakes. Okay. So as you can see, there's half in there, and then that gives it space to rise. And I'm going to get some cupcake cases out and we can finish off the rest of that. So if that was too much and you've got a smaller tray, then I'd probably just use 100 grams of each ingredient and then 2 eggs with that. As you can see, I like to bake. There's lots of cupcake cases lying about my house. So I'll put these in and I'll see how many I can get out the rest of that mixture. So as I was saying, that was maybe an 8-inch kind of square tin. So that was 200 grams of each ingredient I put in, and that was still a wee bit much. So even if you want to half it, or even just put 150 of each ingredient, you can get your adult to help you with that, and that should be fine. But if you have a bigger tin, then I would go for the 200 grams of each. But you know, if you've got anything extra, you can just make cupcakes like me. Okay, so I've put 6 cupcake cases in. So I also use a tablespoon and use your pinky to just scoop it into your cases. Remember, always wash your hands before you start cooking. And I know it's so tempting, but don't lick your finger until after you've put all the mix you can in these cases. So we've got 6 cupcakes, and we've also got a tray bake for our school dinner cake. Okay, so this is a tricky bit. I'm going to put them in the oven. So this is where you need your adult, and you need to wear your oven gloves. And I've set the oven for 180 degrees, and usually cupcakes take about 12 minutes, 15 minutes, but with this tray bake I want to say 15 to 20, so after 15 minutes, keep an eye on your cupcakes, check them. If they're springy to touch, then that's them ready. And with your tray bake sponge, if you've got a fork or a toothpick, if you stick it in and bring it back out and there's no cake on it, that's it ready. So put these in and we'll see how long it takes. So I've taken the cupcakes out of the oven just because the square tin isn't ready yet. Here are my little cupcakes. They're still roasting. Okay, So while we're waiting for the rest of the cake to bake, we're going to make our topping. So we need some icing sugar. We need literally the tiniest bit of water, you don't need all this, and a tablespoon, bowl to mix it in, and we've got 100,000 sprinkles to top it off. Okay? Usually it's kind of double the icing to the water you put in, but it can be a bit messy. Now if you put too much water in it, it turns out really runny. Okay, so I would use a tablespoon and just kind of scoop it out like we do when we're measuring for our Play-Doh, okay? And as you can see, like, that was just one and it's completely dissolved the icing sugar. Okay, so I'm going to try 2 first. Maybe 3. 3 tablespoons. And give it a mix. And look, I was wrong, that was a bit too much because it's a wee bit runny. So you need to give it a good mix. So I should have stuck with 2, but oh well, don't know. So if it's too runny, we'll just add more icing sugar. You might need an adult's help because, as you can see, this is everywhere all over my counter. But it's okay, we can clean that up after. So a good trick is to use the back of your spoon and try and push the lumps at the edge of the bowl. Or if you have a whisk, you can, not a whisk, sorry, if you have a sieve, you can use a sieve. So you just keep adding until it's the right consistency for yourself. I like to make it a little bit thicker because then it doesn't run off the cake as much. So as you can see, I think maybe a little bit more. Oh, okay. There we go. So once that's made, you need to wait until your cake is cooled all the way down first before you put your icing on the top. Otherwise it will just melt it off the sides. Okay. So as you can see, it's kind of thick now. And it coats your spoon, which is good. So we'll stop there and we'll wait till our cake's finished. Okay, so our cakes are cool enough now so we can ice them. And here we go. So, got to ice it. And to be fair, I'm just going to pour it on. Okay. And quickly use a spoon. Oh, there we go. Now I like my icing to be a bit thick. So make sure you get all your edges. It's still a wee bit warm, so, but I'm a wee bit impatient when it comes to cake. Boys and girls should know that already. And put it on the top. Okay. And then we have our sprinkles. Now, if this, obviously, it's quite a big kind of lid, so I would recommend putting it on your hand first and then sprinkle it onto the cake, but I can't do it and hold the phone. So I'm just going to gently sprinkle away. And there you have it, our after school dinner cake. So I'm going to ice these as well, and then I'll show you my wee picture at the end, okay? So that's our cakes, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed watching me bake again. And I hope you enjoy this week's Bake Off. And I hope to see all your lovely baking. And if you can post us a picture, send us a picture via email or via the school website, that would be fantastic. But anyway, until next time, boys and girls. Bye!